Hello. Welcome to Costuming and Character and Costuming. I'm just going to say the exact same thing. My name's Caitlin, and we are so happy to see you. Oh, Amy. Being silly in the chat there. Hello, welcome. I got not very much sleep last night, so this is going to be a little chaotic. I mean, as per usual, probably for me. I use she, her pronouns. I go by Petite Medic on every social media ever. And let's see who else is here. Let's go with Christine.
Hello.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Christine. Thank you, Caitlin. But I'm Christine. I use she, her pronouns. And I am otherwise found as Lady Liliana in the chat or on my own channel where I stream stuff like Guild Wars and other random games. I have my eye on a new game that I want to stream. So I know I've got some time coming up potentially in a few weeks. So we might be streaming some kaiju dating sims. Just maybe. It looks funny, so I want to do it. Yeah. But otherwise, you find me in lots of Dork Tales games, historically and currently. So,
excellent,
yeah,
excellent. All right, we'll go over to Robin.
Hello, I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns, and yeah, you can find me on the interwebs, usually here on Dork Tales. I may actually start also getting more active in my own personal streaming potentially on weekends, because I'm moving away from the area, so I'm not gonna be able to just chill at people's houses anymore. So I may do my own streaming on Second Gen Gamer at Twitch. But yeah, you can usually find me here on Dork Tales in all the games pretty much. Not even an exaggeration. But yeah, looking forward to this because boy, do I have a lot of costumes.
Excellent. All right, we will go through them. Let's go in a circle down to Amy.
Oh, hello, that is me. I am Amy, also known as Paradoxical Ghoul on Twitch and Discord and most social media. And I am in many Dork Tales games. I am probably a very familiar face here if you recognize me, because apparently I've been told that I am a master of disguise. I don't know. You make me be the judge of that. And I also stream occasionally on my own channel at twitch.tv/paradoxicalghoul. And yeah, my pronouns are she, her, they, them. And I don't know, my favorite color is purple.
It's a good color.
I've had this many hours of sleep, but I'm doing so great. It's going to be good.
I feel you. All right, let's go over to Krista.
Hi guys, I'm Krista. I use she, they, or her, them pronouns. You can mostly find me here on Dork Tales. I talked way too much in the last panel, so my cough is back in full force, so I might be a little quiet this one, but all of these wonderful people do incredible stuff, so I'm excited to hear their opinions on stuff.
All right, sounds like a plan. We're excited to hear your opinion on stuff too, though, Krista. All right, and let's go over to Bryn.
Hello. I forgot the questions we were supposed to answer. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me at Frecklebites on every platform, and I stream sometimes. I might actually stream soon. I haven't streamed for 3 months, but Advanced Wars Reboot Camp just came out, and I think I'm gonna stream that.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Wait, was I supposed to say something about costuming?
I didn't. I don't know.
I didn't.
Go for it.
I cosplay.
What's your favorite
a lot,
part?
So
Nice.
my favorite part of costuming.
Yeah.
Weathering.
Oh,
I think I like weathering
spot.
costumes. Yeah.
Weathering costumes.
I don't know. I think it really when you get to the end and you can make the details really pop. Yeah.
Cool. We will talk about weathering costumes because that's definitely something that I want to get better at as well. So I'm adding that to my little list of talking notes, which is way smaller than the last panel. So here we go.
Okay.
But before we do
talk about,
I'm sure we will. Before we do anything else, let's say thank you to our sponsor, Bookworm Games, for being our sponsor this month. So you can go to bookwormgames.com and use code DorkTales to save 10%. And they have basic dice, resin dice, wood dice, gemstone dice, and edible dice, as well as brand new D10. Oh, those the edible dice. D10 sets, which are particularly hard to find, I find anyway. And they are gemstone sets, which I'm really excited about. And they have resin sets on the way as well. So it's super awesome. Super duper awesome. And quest chests, which I mentioned in the last time that I ran a panel. And they are system agnostic, so works with any system, game in a box, and they include maps, handouts, stories suitable for any party, 1 to 4 sessions worth of material, pardon me, depending on your group, so how fast they go through things, kind of where they go with it. Special items like coins, props, and more really get the immersion, curated sound effects, music, woo, and sometimes even edible items like tea or coffee. So you can visit questchest.info for more info and look for their upcoming Kickstarter. I'm tripping over my words and we are off to a great start. All right.
Can you tell us
thinking,
Sunday? Can you tell us
can
Sunday
you tell us
Expo?
I have a question for Caitlin. How much does
Hello.
this feel like a con Sunday morning when you're running a con?
I very much so, actually, now that I'm thinking
Yes.
about it. Yeah. I'm
Mhm.
also again staring at a computer. Yeah. Kind of
Yeah.
talking to people. Yeah, with coffee in my hand. This
It's
very
like-
much so.
Yeah.
It'd be my lazy
Cool.
lazy
Relatable.
cosplay because I have like no makeup on. or
I
anything.
almost just
Yeah.
opted to wear pajamas for the first bit, but I was like, you know what? No, I'll actually. Yeah.
I
Now, this
definitely
is
have
me
pajama
cosplay-
bottoms on.
Human being. Right.
Yeah. It's like it's cold right now for me, and I don't like being cold. So
That's the one nice thing about like costuming for streaming is you can wear whatever you want on your lower half. I was gonna say your second half, and I'm like, that's unfair to your butt. Your butt could be your first half.
bottom is your
I thought you were gonna say your bottom because like your second half is usually your partner. So the fact of like
Oh my god! All
That's
right, I have a latte. Apparently, I need to drink more of it because words.
Yeah, see, I still feel like this is like the
Perfect.
third day of a con, very much so. It is,
Yeah.
but just also like I didn't even participate in that much yet.
I know, me neither.
Oh,
Oh boy.
I guess I sat and modded for a lot of it. I didn't necessarily chat in the chat, but I was there watching everything happen, waiting for some asshole to drop by and do something stupid. My clicking button was ready.
You're just so
Kelly
ready.
just realized the emotes for his command pop up in the chat, and now he's just spamming.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and if anybody has any questions for us or costuming during the panel, just like let us know, pop it in the chat, and we will definitely get to it. I will do my best to keep an eye on the chat this time. And otherwise, if someone else could just pop in our little chat and we'll definitely get to it. All right, so we are going to go over costuming for streaming in particular, but I was kind of wondering if anybody has like, just to kind of start off with, anybody has a favorite costume piece? I could start. I don't have it with me, but while y'all think, I could definitely start.
I'll burp.
Pardon? Oh, verb. Okay, perfect. I would go with my Zarya cape, but I did that last time, so I think doing something different this time would be pretty fun. So I'll put it in our Discord, and I'll put the things in the Discord that I said I was going to put in yesterday. But I'll put everything in the Discord today. But what I did was I made a little headpiece for Satine Kryze from Star Wars Clone Wars. And it's probably my favorite piece because I did a lot of things that I hadn't really done a whole lot of before. I really took Warbler and I made like a crown thing, and I don't usually use Warbler to do armor pieces, so it was really fun to get all the sand. It was kind of fun to get the sanding down. I used the gesso technique and gesso and sanding. It took forever, but it was very fun, and I managed to get some sparkly, kind of like not tinsely pieces, but kind of like sparkly cellophane pieces inside the little dragonfly wings, and kind of sandwiched in between 2 pieces of clear Warbler, and then we do some Warbler on the side, and then it was pretty fun. Ooh, we have a question. All right, so I'm going to stop rambling about that, but I will put it in the chat because I like it very much, or Discord because I like it very much. Yeah, all right, we can just pop up so that I don't have to call on anybody.
I'll
gonna
go next with the pop up. So this is probably my favorite piece that that I've actually like crafted myself, because in my other hand, like my favorite costume piece probably is the Riz's coat that Krista made for me, because it is this gorgeous velvet purple, and as a surprise, she threw in inside pockets for me.
I love inside pockets.
I absolutely love it because it so suits a Kender. So this is probably my favorite piece that I have. I didn't make it, but Krista did an absolutely fantastic job crafting this. Like, totally brought my vision to life with this piece.
Thank you.
So I'm
glad you like the
absolutely
pockets.
adore it. It was such a cute little surprise when I got it. But this is probably my favorite piece that I've actually made myself, because hey, I don't usually see myself as a crafty person, but I took the time because I got inspired by Miss Twisted on TikTok, who does these beautiful handcrafted like headpieces, and they're like, rightly so, like $300 US to buy, and I want one so bad, but I
Like, who's
couldn't
not
afford
inspired
it,
by
so
Miss Twisted? Like, every time I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's so gorgeous. So I tried to make one. So this is a $20 bunny ear thing from Amazon, and then I got like, I think maybe like 3 packs of feathers for like $7 each, and then the mushrooms were from like AliExpress for like $6, and then just hot glue the shit out of it. So it's like, you know, probably like a $30-$40 costume piece all told together. And it does the job for Noloris, and I absolutely adore it. So this is probably like my favorite piece that I've made, because it was like actually being crafted, and now I actually want to like get into more kind of doing that stuff for costume pieces and cosplay. So, you know, it kind of started the motor for me.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. That's beautiful. I'd love to make one of those. It just seems so fun. So expressive.
Amazing. It's so expressive every time. Like you're doing the one or the other. It's so cute. Like I love doing and seeing like the chat react to it, because it's just like, yep.
You use it very, very well.
Absolutely.
I think
Anyone
my
else?
favorite piece is
Yeah.
one that's never been seen on stream, because it was picked up for if I ever did a full body cosplay of the character.
Oh.
So actually for Kalara in Dragonlance, I picked up the skirt that she wears in her art.
Oh.
That is entirely based off of the fact that I was able to buy that skirt, and it was one of those ones where you're taking a big chance because it's from a seller on Amazon who's had like 2 purchases and no reviews, and you're like,
oh no,
it's gonna be like a month before it arrives. And I was like, oh god, this might be really shitty quality.
yeah.
But I was like, it's really nice. It was exactly what I wanted for her. So I took a chance, and it turned out to be great quality and actually good fabric and structurally very nice, and it fits. So
Nice.
it's never been seen, but I love the amount of detail on it because it has like braided pieces of fabric in bright colors. It's very primary color. It's got different types of fabric, tulle and regular, and different weights and whatnot, and embroidery on it. So it's very village girl best skirt type thing.
Nice.
And I quite love it, and it really goes with the shirt I got for Kalara. So for the most part, I don't really make most of my stuff. I tend to buy pieces that I put together, and occasionally I add a bit of embellishment to them or make my jewelry or something like that to go with it.
Nice.
I have mine. So the whole costume is my favorite. I think I'm absolutely the most proud of it because it's for my Mima costume, which is a character from NADPOD. She's an NPC and she's amazing. And I love her. But her whole costume that I made, it's definitely the thing that I've done that was the most detailed. I have a tendency, especially it's great for stream, but I have a tendency to just sort of like, I'll throw things together, and at first glance, you're like, "Oh my god, that looks amazing!" And then you look closely at it, and you're like, "Wow, that's garbage." But that's kind of my like cosplaying style. I believe it's oh shoot, what's his name? Night something. There's a cosplayer that I follow, and he describes it as the 10-foot cosplayer, because from 10 feet away
yes.
it looks incredible. Yes. And
I think like a
but
lot of cosplayers are like that, to be honest. It's like slamming out
100%.
costumes and they look great
Yeah.
from a distance, and you just take
Yes.
photos carefully.
100%. Yes. And you just like, and then you add those details in when you need to. And so that's normally how I do things, especially for stream, because like I talked about the makeup panel, like there's a level of detail that you just don't get in stream. And so, but my Mima costume it's very simple. It's like a t-shirt, kind of dress shirt looking thing with overalls. But the overalls, like I actually did all the finishing work on them, and I'm so proud of them, and they fit so nicely, and they look really good, and they look like just a wearable piece of clothing. And the shirt, I actually did some weathering. I got, we'll probably talk about this later, but a staining stick, so it looks like it was like sweat in, which is incredible. But the piece that I love so much is the hat and the front. So the hat is this guy. It's actually been run over by a car, and so I'm surprised it held up as well. But all my little like mushrooms and stuff, and it's just such a cute little piece, and I love it. And I was just so proud of it turning out. And the overalls, I have like a little panel that attaches to the overalls so that I can wash the overalls, which is a great opportunity to have. Yeah, and so I absolutely, I'm just so proud of that. And I made a stuffed animal to go with it. Like I made a stuffed possum to go with it. So I was insanely proud of that one. And I think the other two pieces I was really proud of were the jackets that I made for Kelly and for Robin for Witchlight, and just because they were such fitted pieces, and I didn't really have an opportunity to try them on that much, and so it was one of the first ones that I did that. And then even the vest for Riz was like I got to make those. Normally I kind of pin and go along as I go, but making them for someone else is such a totally different world. So those were really fun.
Nice.
I have a couple. I was trying to think. I was like, what are my favorite costume pieces? I'm like, my wigs. I'm like, no, but I love a lot of my wigs. So which one? Like, I don't want. So got to be a little more specific than that. And I was like, no. You know what? You know what? My favorite pieces are. Hold on. 1 sec.
Ooh, fan.
From my Victorian mage pieces, because it's the black gloves and the fan combined, and I'm like, yes, those are the pieces. Because even if you don't really see the gloves very often, they definitely they make the character, and it's so much easier to get into character when I'm like, yes, the gloves and the fan, because you can go like pose and point and be like emotive, and it's fantastic. So it's like, even though we're sitting on screen, like, it's fantastic. I didn't do that on purpose, but thank you. I love and appreciate you as a human being. You are my friend. So
excellent. Yeah, that's definitely a very good point, is having those little accessories as well. Maybe it's not part of the actual like wearing costume, but something that you always have that you like, oh yes, now that I picked up this fan or this prop or whatever it is, I feel like I can really get into the character. Yeah. Do you have a favorite costume piece, Bryn?
I do. Yeah.
Nice.
Probably the thing I finished most recently. I did like a vibe mask, like an enforcer mask for the COD, which I really liked, and the
Nice.
weathering turned out really good. And I don't have
I was
it with
talking
me,
about
like-
it earlier. I was talking about
Are
how
you?
amazing it is. We were talking about 3D printing and the difference between like
yeah.
resin versus
Oh,
filament, and so I was talking about how sick your vibe mask was.
So I'm making 2 more, because often when you make things, they don't turn out quite right, and like I've had a lot of failure points on the old one, and also I cosplay with a lot of Jinxes and Kalens, and I want them to match. So just make things for your friends. But this is one that like just is like fresh off the printer, and it's, I don't know, feels cool. I love wearing it at cons because like you don't have to smile in photos.
Oh,
You don't have to worry about
fair.
what your lower makeup looks like. It's just like you just look really like scary and intimidating without having to do anything. You're just like So,
Also with COVID, if you're ever
Father.
worried about like things, you could put like a barrier in there or wear a mask under that, and then it doesn't ruin the
Yeah.
cosplay either.
that is
COVID
why I wear
times.
it. I have some like N95s that fit under it. So for
Nice.
mask required cons, it's usually my go-to. Oh my god, my hair. Also, my headphones are
Nice.
fucking up, so I'm gonna fuck with them. If you'll give me a minute, I'll be over here.
No worries. Let's while you're doing that, let's take some questions here. So let's go with Cole Drakes. Speaking of costumes and cosplay on stream, how much is an original concept versus I may have something in the closet that will work for this game? Also, trinkets for detailing a drawer of goodies or purchase for a specific character. I know that for myself, I usually will, once I have my character concept, I can't help myself. I just have to design the outfit and design what they look like. So with that, I don't really take into consideration what I have. Maybe I'll find something that kind of works, but I usually just kind of take it as an original character concept and then I build what I need to from there. For Extra Life games, though, I definitely dig into the box that I'm looking in the direction of accessories, and I've got a whole bunch of little like clothing knickknacks that, you know, you throw it together this way, it looks one way, and you throw it together this way, it looks another way. So I definitely do a little mix of both for streaming, but definitely if it's like a long game that you're going to be in. Although it's funny that our Extra Life game turned into a longer game, and I was like, oh no, I have to wear this all the time. Those contacts are awful. But it was super fun, and it was super interesting to keep wearing that over and over again and seeing which parts got real annoying real quickly. And that's also why I like to kind of build a concept first without just throwing things together, is because you gotta, if you're doing it every week or even every second week, you gotta keep it up, and it can be really, really challenging. You'll probably see in a lot of my, especially as I got more pregnant, a lot of the streams I was in, my costuming kind of slacked a little bit.
You kind of have a very good excuse for that. Getting slightly more pregnant. I think you can take the.
Did you plan this costume around the, like, how long in advance did you plan this in advance? Like, were you like, I think yeah, you got some.
Zaria was
there.
like, oh, can I breathe? Can you breathe? I don't know. All right, anyone else want to touch on it? Yeah.
Yeah, I generally find like the character concept kind of sometimes comes out of a costume concept, or I tend to come up with a kind of a vibe I want from the character before I actually really develop the character, and that ties in with like outfitting. Because like, say for Reign of Emeries, like I really wanted to play a more sweet character, a more kind of like refined, restrained, intellectual, sweet, kind of shy character. And so from that, I kind of came out with like, okay, well, I would like to have the character be wearing a skirt instead of like something practical adventure-y. So, and we ended up going with a noble route. And I was like, okay, well, soft elements of outfit, which ended up with like a shirt with the tie neck type thing, soft floppy bow, soft blue knitted vest, which thank you very much, Kelbell, for knitting that for me.
I love you.
I was just going to go with like something I could find online, and then she very kindly knit for me, and it was lovely, and I still have it in the back of my closet for the next time I play a character like that. But like, that's kind of where it developed from, and I try and then see if anything of mine could work as like base layers, because sometimes like a basic white shirt will work and you pile something on top, but I do end up buying some pieces from places like Amazon, etc. To figure out from there. For instance, like Claudette, I was kind of like, okay, well, I want embroidery. Or not Claudette, Kalara. I want embroidery. I want village girl, like type floral, colorful embroidery. And so I was looking for like embroidered pieces I could have put on, even like tacked on with a needle or iron on or something like that. And I ended up finding a shirt that just worked really well. But I would have altered a different older shirt with embroidered pieces if I needed to.
I was thinking like I'm like 50-50 like at this point, because I've accumulated so many different wigs. Like sometimes I'll be prepping for a new game and I'm like, oh, do I have something I can use for that? And then I'll go look through my bin of things that have never seen the light of day or have only ever been used once or twice in an Extra Life game, and I'll dig that out. Or I will do the art and commit to a look and then go,
Yep.
oh
Yep.
no, I don't
Yep.
have anything that looks like this. I have to go buy a new wig
Mhm.
because I don't even have anything in this
Oh,
color,
no.
much less in this style. That's what I had to do for lead-in for Emery's. I had to go find
Mhm.
something that fit her art, and I was like, oh no, I need something with a side, like a side part with a strip. I'm like, oh no, I don't know, what have I done? I ended up getting 3 separate wigs for her because I didn't know which one was going to be used. One of them I ended up using as the wig that keeps recurring for Luella, because that was a one-off that I never thought I'd play again, and I keep having to bring it out, even though it's like one of the least comfortable wigs I own.
Oh no!
But it looks so good. I'm
It does.
just like
It
what we
does.
do for our art, right?
Suffer for your art.
God.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like how much. Sometimes it's like, yeah, you commit to a look and then realize this is gonna be a lot more invested than I thought, like an investment than I thought it was. Like for the upcoming Radiant Citadel, I put in my art and I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be
Leonin.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
So
Yeah, I'll say
Robin,
my like generally it's either 50% I'm building my costume as I'm doing my character art. So sometimes I'll like look at Amazon or something to see like if I can get the piece that I'm trying to imagine in the head. Or like for example, Keiko, I actually had the corset that I used. So I kind of built the character around that corset, and like I bought the feathery stole that I'm pretty sure I threw out because it was in pieces by the end of Netherdeep. But like I definitely have like an image in my head first, and then I try and like work back from that. So it's like, yeah, I'm buying costume pieces like the upcoming Arcos game. I definitely had somewhat of idea. I think it started with a wig. I saw the wig and then I kind of like built from that outfit and seeing what I could get of like what my dream was from like looking up like Pinterest and things like that. So I definitely build around the idea generally, unless I have like a piece that like I've found throughout my travels and like I want to use that and it's like, oh yeah, this could work for this character. But generally it's like, okay, this is the image I have in my head. What can I do to get that? And if you have friends that are very fabric inclined, you go like, hey, this is what I'm thinking, can you do this? And then Chris is like, yeah, and you're like cool, Krista, I can now do this thing with finding fabrics and stuff like that. But I am not sewing inclined, so it's always hard to be
you're
like,
not so inclined.
I'm not so inclined. Yeah.
Forgive me.
We started the theme for this panel and we're just going. All right,
Yep.
sorry, Amy.
I was thinking for like the upcoming Arcos game, that one was a case where I realized there's this wig that I kept thinking every time I looked over on Arda. I was like, oh, this one style, this one color, I really like it. I don't have a reason to buy it yet. I can't think. So when I came up for this option, I was like, yes, we've got it. I'm gonna go buy it. I bought it. And then we put up together the like all the art, and I was like, oh, thank good. Like I was like, okay, I know we're gonna be done this other game by then. I'll reuse this shirt, but I'll pair it with this other like this corset thing that I've got, so it'll look totally different, even though it is the same piece because it's a base like a base layer. Which that was a pain in the ass because it's the shirt I used for Mool, my plasmoid. Because I put that together for the art, and then I had to do a hell of a search finding anything that matched even remotely the look, because the color and the style were so specific. I was like, this can't be hard to find. It was a nightmare, and I ended up going with something
last words.
totally different color. And technically, I wear the shirt backwards because I wanted the tie part to be at the front, and I'm like, oh, well, you know what? It works. So we're just gonna spin it around and reapply it, and that way you won't see the blue body paint stains on it from every time I dripped it when I applied it.
Costuming for stream, which we will touch on very quickly. All right, maybe we'll just go right there unless anyone has anything else to add.
I'm in a very similar boat to you, Caitlin. I get ideas, and I'm like, I need to make this.
I just got it.
I can't find
Isaac. Isaac.
yeah, Isaac. Yeah,
You're a
Isaac,
hippo.
yes, hippo. I also, I bite off more than I can chew normally. So
Yeah. Oh my god.
Just
I
a
can hear
little.
myself really loud.
That's funny because then you play a hippo, and those
Yeah.
can bite a lot.
Yes,
Especially when
and
they're
that's the thing. I'm
hungry.
trying to get myself. I'm trying to give myself a bigger mouth so I can take it out.
That's how it really is,
yes.
right?
No, but then like you said, for extra life, it's for the short games. It's like, what do I have in my closet? What can I figure out?
Totally.
Yeah.
I find that really fun
yeah.
too, just kind of throwing things together.
Yeah.
Half the time, I don't plan my extra life costume or anything until like an hour before.
Yes,
I'm like,
same.
okay, which wig for this one? I've worn those 3 already this weekend. Which other one can I go with that I like?
Totally.
It's easy to style. It's not too
Totally,
heavy,
and it's not
etc.
green because that would be super annoying with the screens.
Yeah,
that too.
green screens and making things appear on them is a whole other adventure.
And blue
All right.
screens. Yeah.
Versus blue screens,
Costuming
yep.
for stream, let's do it.
Woo!
That goes with this question by Andrew Rambling Gamer. Do you do anything different for costuming for stream than you would do for a costume at an in-person event or cosplay for a con? Absolutely.
Yes.
Who wants to take it
Yes.
away here?
Oh, I got one.
All right, let's go.
I usually don't plan pants for like
Yes.
character
No
pants.
bottoms.
Looking at
No
looking at
bottoms.
my Christmas cat.
Also,
Like
I did-
thongs
I
with
did-
rings or something.
PJs.
I did Sabina. I took my Netherdeep character to a couple of cons, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta think of pants." Although I do need to get. And one day when a bunch of us can go to a con together, we have to go as streamers with incredibly complex
Yes.
tops and then
Oh
like
my
slippers
God,
and pajama
yes.
bottoms. Yeah.
That
So
is
please,
Oh my
next time
God.
we're all at a
Sorry.
convention, this is what we're doing.
yeah, I love that. That's a great idea.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Working?
Yes.
Okay, I can also hear myself, which I hate, but that's okay.
Oh,
I
jeez.
can't
Oh
figure out
God!
how
Imagine
Cody has
hearing
this set
yourself
up.
talk.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't use real-time monitoring at home, and I probably should get used to it, but I'm not used to it. And it was very
It's not
loud.
in-
But
is it an OBS?
I know he has a Go XLR, which I figured
Oh.
out how to turn my mic monitor down to 50%, and my voice is still really loud in my ears, but it was deafening before when I talked
No.
earlier. It scared the shit out of me. Yeah, no, I always wear shorts on stream because I always get too hot, which is like extremely different from con, where I frequently wear pants or something else. I mean, sometimes I don't wear
mean,
pants for my
usually.
costumes.
Generally, cons you have to wear pants.
It's
They
kind of a
generally
rule.
want
Or an
you to
equivalent.
wear-
Mm,
Or
It's
equivalent,
not
yes.
good.
Other
or like a bunny
big
suit.
difference for
Yeah,
stream
true,
is
yeah.
that detail is not as
Yes.
necessary. Like you
Yeah.
have to make your details much more dramatic for on stream to actually be caught up. Because for instance, like my necklace right now, you can barely see it on stream, but it's pretty obvious in person that I'm wearing a pearl necklace. Like,
Mm.
and that's
Mhm.
a detail that would come out in an in-person cosplay versus say an on-stream character. Like I tend to wear any necklace has to be bigger, has to be
Mhm.
darker so it can be seen, and I generally put it on a ribbon because that will be seen then. And also,
I
by the
think
way, a spool
too-
of ribbon is fucking cheap.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Get that
Security.
sucker, and magnetic clasps are your friend
Mhm.
for
Yes.
like stream outfits because they just
Especially if they
snap
get caught in
together
your
and fall
wigs,
apart.
is the nightmare.
Yeah.
The worst.
amazing.
Long
Yeah.
wigs and
Um,
chainmail's worst.
So in that thing, you
Or
can
sorry,
actually like,
scale mail.
if you're making costumes, they can be a little bit like not perfectly finished. Like if you're making something, you can get away with like little details not necessarily being perfect because it's not gonna show up on stream. You're not gonna see the unfinished hem or like edge of a shirt. It's way more forgiving for things
Mhm.
like that. So you
For
can
instance, like the
Mm.
shirt Krista made me. You've seen it in person, Robin. It's
Yeah.
massive. And you can't tell that because I just adjust it and like the back is maybe billowing out the back of my vest horribly. But the way it's sitting is perfect in front because there's so much space to it that I can just kind of like adjust it under the vest until it
now
sits
that's
right
reminding me
in
of
camera.
the Homer Simpsons meme where he like loses weight and he like just like stretches his whole body behind. So it's like
God.
exactly
Literally,
that.
like it's all stretched out behind me because that vest I wore for Win held the neckline in place exactly the way I wanted it to, and I could put the folds in perfectly. But that shirt was like it would fit two of me. Like, it was that much fabric in it,
Thinking,
which made it so easy to style. It was
Oh, yeah, and
great.
Nice.
I'm constantly like for the shirts and things because of how much only like it's shown in the window. I'm always cheating with like like belts and things to like
Yeah.
that you won't see because I'm like, I don't really like how this sits, but it's not going to be super like. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna put a belt there.
I
Not
like
part of the
just, like,
costume. We're doing it.
I tuck my like collared shirt into my shorts for Arlen, and I'm like, that looks weird if you take a full body picture. If you ever have to take it to a con, we'll have to like figure something out for that.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Streamers like chest up versus like
Or-
full body, and then just the front of you too. For things
Yeah,
like body
just the
paint.
front.
And
Body paint,
Like
like the
body
back
paint,
of my
yeah.
neck, just like nah.
Well, I mean,
And
hell,
would also
Evelyn's
say-
wig for Victorian Mage has a massive claw clip holding it in place in the back, and you can see the foam like base for the bun.
Yeah.
But on front, it looks like perfect Regency Victorian type look.
That looks
I actually, if you go back and look at early episodes of Strixhaven, I was gluing my ears at that point, so I was using like elf ears, and I glued them on, and they went at kind of like a 45-degree angle, which I think looks good if you're at a con and people are like catching you in profile. But it didn't really like give the effect I wanted from the front, and I ended up moving them to like a headband with wires, so they go out completely horizontally from my head, and it like it works from the front and it looks good on stream, but it looks kind of ridiculous in real life, and you can like totally see the headband if you were to like look closer up. So like I think if I took it to a con, I would probably adapt it, and I would do, you know, like actual prosthetic ears.
and it
Yeah, definitely.
slightly begins to float off
Yeah.
Oh
occasionally.
yeah, the escaping ear.
Oh,
My glue failed.
It was so good.
Still can't figure out
I'm
how to
actually
glue that
gonna
latex.
use your because I'm hoping to do you know, future plans. There's a character I want to do, and I want to do a goblin, so I want those big out
Yeah.
ears. So I'm gonna
That'd be
definitely
exciting.
take your idea of using the headband to get that like that obvious wide ear effect, because it's something like you may not see if it's going like this. It's not as obvious as like full out like that.
Actually, just if you
so-
want headband wires, I bought 50 off AliExpress because that's the number that they come in.
Oh my god.
I would love that.
You get one.
Wait, what?
with,
Like, just
with
headband
all
wires?
cosplay stuff, just like metal ones. Like it's hard to get really low profile metal headbands. Basically, like I was hunting at
yeah,
dollar stores, so I ended up ordering them off AliExpress. And I feel like you can never find something locally, and you're like, I need like 1 or 2 of this in case I make a mistake, and
comes
then you
in
end up
bulk.
finally buying it off AliExpress or something. And you're like, cool, now I
fucking
have
bulk.
50.
Yeah.
box.
Yeah, because I keep
Awesome.
thinking I need to make tiefling horns at some point, or just horns in general, and I'm like, how do I do that? And I haven't
Oh,
really.
hit me up!
dove into
I got
that.
the headbands. I'll be the headband
Yeah,
dealer.
yeah.
There you go.
Take
Perfect.
some.
I will talk to you about
Yeah,
that.
Brenda. I have those crappy like horns from Spirit that are on the elastic, and they
Yeah.
worked really well for an Extra Life game.
Yeah.
But I need to put them on something solid if I'm ever gonna actually play that.
Well, I bought them for my Pochita like chainsaw that had to come out, and I actually doubled it up, so there's 2 of them, one going forward and one going backward, so it's really stable now. Before I had to glue the chainsaw to my forehead.
Oh god.
Oh gosh.
Now when we're talking glue, it's not actual glue, right?
What did I use? I used lace front tape.
There you go. Nice.
Good
which-
for also costuming. Good to like.
It's like a
Yeah,
good.
but that's
I mean,
design too,
technically,
yeah.
there's a difference between lace front tape and like fashion tape, but I'm not totally clear. I feel like it might actually be marketing, and they might be identical. I'm not 100%.
I think the wig tape has a little more residue because like I've used
Oh, yeah.
your like you have fashion
Oh,
tape, right?
yeah.
And it doesn't leave stuff on the fabric, whereas wig tape leaves a residue.
You're sticky.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Christina, you had
I
a thing?
got
Okay.
tiefling
Oh,
horns as well, made by Stu. Actually, had a 3D printer and very kindly 3D printed them out for me. I tried to do magnets, but it's really hard to do. So he also made slots for a little headband. So I actually went
That's
to
so cool.
like Claire's, and they just have like the regular like fabric headbands, and I just literally stripped off the fabric, and it very luckily had a white thing because Sassy's wig was gray. So I'm like, perfect, this will blend in a bit. And then so I stuffed them full with foam and just like put them through, and that way they can be like a little bit adjustable because there's still a little bit like tiny bit of the glue residue on it, so it actually like holds it a bit, so you can kind of just like put it on and then like adjust them how you want to be, which I think is absolutely
How
fantastic.
are they different from your Ivy horns?
Ivy,
what
I
were those?
got Ivy ones I got off of Amazon, and
Oh, okay.
I fight with them every time because
Hmm.
they're the clips,
So getting them
and
the right
they're
place
cheap,
everything.
and the constantly. I don't know if you ever saw me, but I I was taking a barbecue lighter to reignite the like glue
my
there because it
goodness.
kept coming off.
No.
So that the clips would come off when I try and put it on the wig. So yeah, you could either like get like a horn and get like clips to be able to clip it on. I found the clips would sometimes you'd have to be very specific where
I
you
hate
put it
clips.
versus the
Anytime-
headband is amazing
yeah.
for adjusting because you can just like
Anytime a
literally slide it where
cosplay
you
comes
want.
with something with like clips on it, like I find often like things from China will often they'll just be like, just clip it in your hair, and I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't like actually stay that good.
No.
90% of the time I will like remove it, and like if it's like for Goro, I have some dog ears and I just stitch them into the wig. So they're like stable and they're like the most
Mhm.
comfortable ears ever. It's amazing. So you just pull the wig on and then your ears are just up and they just
Nice.
work. You don't need a headband or anything. Or I know a lot of people who do, you can put like a Warbler plate underneath your wig to create like a hard surface, and then you can mount stuff to that. And I think that works pretty good.
Nice.
Or headbands.
Mhm.
But then like the problem with headbands sometimes if you have a heavily styled wig, you like can't really keep the headband in the wig and you have to get it in and out, and then you end up messing up the wig. So like if you're connecting, if the wig is for the character and so is the like hair ornament or whatever, it's often easier to just like build it in.
Mhm.
Then you have to make sure that you don't need to reuse that wig for anything.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly though, if you're like spiking or styling a wig, it's kind of like done
That's
anyway.
it.
If you're using it
Yeah.
to like change your hair color for a character, it's okay. But like, I mean, I guess I do a lot of anime wigs, so I'm like, that one's done.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit more because those styles are so specific that you're kind
Mhm.
of yeah.
And I mean, like once you airbrush a wig, it's like you've airbrushed
that.
it, you know, like you have the shadows there. That's how it's got to be. Oh, you stitched your ears on for that.
Did the attached? Yeah, I like the whole side pieces so that it
Did you
covered my
punch that
natural
hair?
ears. No, it's glued onto
Okay.
fur.
Nice.
You're an animal. You're an animal.
Amazing.
Punch it in, but like look at it. Like it actually like
Yeah.
even close up looks
That
like a
looks-
hairline.
That's
And
yeah.
This is like cardboard with like minky attached to it.
That's
And,
awesome.
That's amazing.
And there were like additional. I had like 2 wigs that I like ripped apart and like attached sewed the weft.
Oh,
in.
Frankenwigs.
Franken- exactly.
Oh God! Okay. We don't do costuming for Shards of Nern, but I 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, I was like, you know what? At some point, I might want to cosplay Tia, and so I went and I started looking up for like wigs that were long enough to do the style and everything. And like I've got it partially figured out, and I bought like extra wefts because I'm gonna have to do some stuff to get like the extra volume to get all the braids in. And now I'm like sitting there staring at it, going like, this is gonna suck. This is
It's a
gonna
lot.
suck.
Yeah, no, I designed my Shards of Nern character with not costuming in mind because we were
Yep.
not planning that when we started this
Same
channel.
when I joined.
Because-
I have a blue star person, so that will be fun.
This is Malia,
Yeah.
So pretty.
and I would need a lace front
Great.
wig for this one because A, that's a fuck ton of hair, but B, I despise straight hairlines on wigs.
oh yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
That's almost
Yeah.
why I almost always have bangs as a character because it looks more natural.
Yeah.
And you don't have this really hard, rounded hairline of a wig. So unless you're doing lace front, natural hairlines like that are very difficult to
So
fake,
I've learned
even
a
on
lot of
stream.
cosplayers apparently have been like rather than doing lace fronts, they do like a glued hairline. So you take, I'm
I
pretty
did
sure
that.
it's white glue. Yeah, and you put a bunch of like spiky bits kind of at the front.
Mm.
Oh, use tacky glue. Okay. And it looks like it's coming down onto your head. I have a wig I commissioned that came like that, and like it's a lot easier than like a lace
Yeah.
front, and no one can see a lace front on stream. Heck, no one can see a lace front
No.
at a con. Like
No.
I used to buy lace front wigs, but like I don't know, people have to be like looking really close
Yes.
to even notice.
I
think,
genuinely
like,
am
my
very
Wanda
curious as to
wigs
what the heck
lace
that
front.
means.
That's it.
Like what do you mean like glue? What?
So
Don't
so you take
understand.
a bunch of like baby
Let me
hairs.
go grab mine.
Yeah.
One sec. I have one
I'll
downstairs.
describe
but
it
I'll
while
be right
you
back.
go get it. So you take kind of a bunch of baby hairs, as far as I can tell, and you kind of point them forward like spikes almost. You're kind of like reversing the direction of the weft, if that makes sense. So it comes forward, and then you glue it into kind of these like hard little points that lie against the skin. and the points fly down, and they look like the hair is coming out of your skin, theoretically, from a distance.
So you basically like take almost like the front layer of the wig, and you kind of push it and glue it
Yeah.
down in front.
I don't
You'd have
know.
to
I mean,
trim it, wouldn't
I think
you?
they're
Though, to get
different
the top
oh
of it?
yeah.
Yeah.
This is like this is a gluing, spiking kind of treatment.
Yeah.
I would say people also do it for the back of wigs. So I have like a ponytail wig that I commissioned, and they did the whole back with like a glued line. So when you lay it against your skin and like pin it down, it looks like you have like ponytail hair coming up out of the back of your neck. Oh yeah, there you go.
There
Oh,
you
that's a nice
go.
one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is that a
that's
Jinx
pretty.
wig? Are you cosplaying Jinx?
No, this is for my partner for some very obscure anime character. I think never Ononoke.
You should
Something
cosplay
or
Jinx
other.
with me.
Okay.
really good, though.
Way
Yeah,
taller
that's
than me.
interesting.
Yeah. Like,
So to do that, you you cut out some of the wefts and then glued them to the front, kind of thing.
so what I did first is there's some really good
I could
tutorials
do
about this,
that
so I
with
won't talk
my-
too long.
Yeah.
You take a weft, take a piece, cut it flat, glue the ever-loving fuck out of it. Let it dry on like some wax paper that it's not going to stick to. Peel that off once it's fully dry. Cut some angles into it.
Mm.
And then glue it to the front, and then you can like that whole like arc is all glue, and it holds it up.
It looks really cool. You're basically making like a
Great,
false
yeah.
front kind of in front of
Yes.
where the actual hairline on the wig would be, or like the wig line, I
Exactly.
guess.
That's really
I
cool. I'm
guess
gonna have to
so.
experiment with
At
that.
least when it came to like lace front, I figured, you know what? I don't actually have to get it perfect because it's not going to show up on stream anyways, like the actual lace, if I don't get it down right. So as long as it sticks enough that I don't have this big like bump, nobody's going to notice, but it will give me that natural hairline already done, which is kind of nice. It's
100%,
not
yeah,
that
it's
really
That's how I straighten my
hard line.
Tanjiro wig. I'm like 2 pieces of lace front tape. That's all you get. No more prosade. I used to prosade my lace front
Oh
wigs.
no.
No, terrible. Big headache.
Rosé
time.
again.
Yeah, because I mean, as long as like it's cut neatly and whatnot, like
Well, that's one thing. It
you
should
can
be
just add a little
noted.
of your like face contouring shadow around there. Nobody's gonna notice it on stream.
I think one of the biggest things when trimming lace front wigs, like you said, to get that natural hairline is you're supposed to cut it like jagged, not like trim it straight. If you trim it straight, it'll be really easy to see the line of the lace. But if you do it jagged and then tack it down, it blends a lot better with the skin.
All right, I think we touched on a lot of this, but are there any other suggestions for utilizing limited space amount of screen for costume ideas? Really kind of making your costume pop when you can't have the full picture. Krista.
I have one thing on kind of the opposite side of that is do not worry about details that aren't going to see in your frame.
Yeah.
Do your costume, like sit in your frame, find where your line is. I spent so much time trying to find the perfect tassels to go on this costume that you don't see.
Oh no.
And I
Yeah.
spent like half an hour walking through Fabricland trying to find the right tassels, and it didn't matter. So
Well, like
don't worry about it.
that's the thing is, even if your shirt doesn't fit, like this is from like
Pin it.
mid chest up is all you're gonna see. Just wear a belt, tie a ribbon around you, anything, just pull it in and give you the shaping then, because
Yep.
nobody's gonna see that detail. Nobody's gonna see that you're wearing a belt to hold the shirt in place properly. And like once you've got like an elastic belt around you, you can then adjust how it sits so that the folds are in the right places, all the excess is in the back. Like you can make it fit as neatly or loosely as you want at that point. So like all the areas where people won't see is where you get to do the hacks so you don't actually have to tailor the thing.
Well, I think
Just
for
remember-
making. Oh yeah,
Okay.
go.
Okay. Just remember, if you are doing little hacks like putting a clip at the back of your hair or not doing body paint all the way or something at the back, if you ever have to turn around, know that that may be visible. So
Jump scare.
depends on how much you wanna do that part. Because I definitely know that when I do my wigs, there's always a bump because I have hair, right?
You have a tiny bit of hair, yeah.
A small amount of it, and I pin it all into. I braid it all back. I shove it in, and I shove it in a wig, and it doesn't necessarily lie the most flat. So.
That's what
I would say
back
for-
screens are for.
Yeah, for the question of like what to do to maximize like minimal space.
Mhm.
Have pieces of your costume that are very contrasting. Have different like contrasting colors, or like accessorize like things like necklaces or scarves that you can change up. Just try and like maximize like the wigs that you use, or like the over pieces, like layers if you want to put that on yourself. Again, layers that are going to be visible chest up, but like things like a vest and a different shirt, or like adding a really chunky necklace, things like that can really help like maximize your costume impact.
Mhm. Yeah, Krista.
I just thought of one, and I will throw this out there. If you are going to be streaming in the summer and don't have incredibly good AC, Kelly's jacket for Witchlight is a jacket with a front panel of a vest. So it looks like it is a jacket over a vest, but it is this much vest. So he's not wearing a shirt, a vest, and a jacket. He's wearing a jacket and a shirt underneath. So take that into account, because you're not going to see it. Like, there's a reason people used to wear dickies. If you know what a dickie is, it's
Mhm.
where it's like this much of a turtleneck, and then you put another sweater over it, so you're not dying of heat.
Can you say
Think about that.
Dickie again?
Dickie.
There
Also
you
makes me
go.
think of like in those like business casual stores, like when you go, like if you work in retail or like in an office, they'll sell like, here is a sweater, but it has a like sewn in like
Your
pretend
collar.
top collar
Yes.
of like a button up shirt underneath, and you're like, you're just lying to us.
Which,
Be
you know
comfortable.
what? That's
I'm
actually
charging you
really
way
easy to
more.
do as well, because you know what you do? You go to the thrift store.
Yes.
Mm.
And
Cannibalize.
a couple little tacking stitches are enough if you're not rough with it to do. Or hell, tack some Velcro in or something. Like whatever
even
works
safety
easily for
pins.
you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
a couple
And-
little stitches. If your overshirt is dark, it blends in even
Staples.
better. Those might be a
Yep.
little shiny, but
I've
Yes.
stapled things together.
Sometimes you just err on the side of whatever the fuck works.
Yeah, I have a whole bin
yeah.
of safety pins. I use safety pins as my sewing because I can't sew.
Yeah, I think my new favorite top that I haven't yet had a chance to use on stream, but will be for a future character, is something I picked up from Winners on clearance. It's one I would never wear in person because it's a crop top, but it's a crop top peasant shirt.
Nice.
And it's lavender, has a little tie, has embroidery, has big poofy sleeves, and just a poofy crop top. But you know what? Under a vest that I already own, this is gonna look like a great peasant top. But you
Yeah.
can't see that below like the chest. There's just the vest at that point. So it'll be very cool and comfortable until winter at least. But even then you can then add something lower to like keep yourself warm if need be. But also like not having all that extra layers also means that you can give the impression of lots of layering without actually feeling like you're the Marshmallow Man all like bundled up in like too many layers.
Yeah. Also, just in general, if you don't have great AC, I would recommend investing in getting a decent area, like room fan or something, especially one that's relatively quiet, so that you can have that running if you need to in the summer months when you're toasting. Especially if you've decided that your costume does have to have multiple layers and a wig, and you're just like, I've made mistakes.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's go to the next question here because we've got a few questions.
Oh gosh, there's so many questions.
There are a lot of questions actually. Okay, Rogue Panda Leader. Question for the panel: what is the balance you find between form and function of the costumes, like functional pockets versus accurate visual style? Who wants to take it away?
At con, function.
Yeah.
On stream, look.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely have sacrificed the practicality for this wig looks nice. My head's going to be in lots of pain later, or my contacts for my plasmoid, which I would probably hesitate to wear those out because they are a mesh grid and they obstruct part of your vision. And I'm looking at everything with slightly messed up, like everything's a little hazy, and I'm like, oh man, I feel like I've just got like when you first wake up and your eyes are kind of blurry. It's just like that, except constantly.
I still get that with my regular like contacts. So there's like the tiny bit of like the inner bit of the contact just kind of obscures my vision enough that I have a slightly hazy vision to all of the stuff on stream, which is like a pain in the ass and always makes me feel like I'm out of focus, but it's just it's something you do for stream because it looks cool.
Yeah, and I definitely have had issues when I've like usually I put my contacts in before I do any of my makeup because you don't want to end up getting makeup into your under the contact. That's a bad time. No one wants that. But I was having to figure out how to do it with my plasmoid because I can't see how much of the body paint texture, like how thick it was, because I couldn't see it properly. And like I was trying, I just did very basic like eyeliner around the eyes for that one to just give it a little bit of definition because on stream it flattens everything and features don't pop as much. Not incredibly important for when you're playing an ooze, but I wanted the eyes to show up. But I just ended up having my makeup so much thicker because it looked less dark than it actually was. And so I look at the pictures later and I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. But you know what? It's done. We've done it. So just
I have definitely done that and then washed my hands really well, gone like this, pulled the contact aside, looked at what I look like, and then let it go back.
Yep.
Yeah. That one, I wish I kind of thought about that. But also they're like, those ones are partial sclera, so they're a little bit white. They weren't a full like eye one, but they were a bit wider. So things I hadn't really considered, but yeah, they're cool though. I really like them. I like how it looked.
Yeah. Also, wearing contacts like that for like 4 hours versus like all day, or wearing a really, really uncomfortable wig for the look for like 4 hours or however long the stream is versus all day at a convention. They're very, very different things. Speaking of contacts, though, why don't we go down to Wonka's question? How do you all feel wearing contacts that change your eye color for cosplays?
I love it.
Yeah.
Once you get used to it, once you get used to putting in contacts, it's great. They still every once in a while it's fun. Every once in a while you get a day where they just don't go in right, and like there's been a couple times where I haven't been able to wear them as Riz because they hurt and it doesn't feel like any amount of like lubricant you put in them.
Trick I learned recently. I don't know if you do this, but when you put them in, you put like a couple of drops of contact lens solution in them. They go in so much better, and then you cry a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm crying anyway because I'm putting eye drops in, so
And that's why I put them in first, and then I do my makeup. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
It's very popular. I will say I do it the complete opposite way. I do contacts.
I know. I always think of you every time I do them first.
I think you're brave because I'm like, I cry and I don't want to mess up my makeup.
Exactly.
Sometimes I'll forget and I'll put on my foundation and then I'll be like, oh shit, I need to put my contacts quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I usually get mascara on them by accident if I do it otherwise.
I think about that every time.
I do get makeup in my eyes sometimes when I'm doing my makeup, like powder especially. So there's definitely been like, I would probably want to try both ways when I didn't have any pressure.
Yeah.
It sounds.
I don't know.
Do them when you don't have a game in an hour and then you're just crying because you can't get your eyes in. A la me, Nell, for the first time. It was like, I'm like, I have to be on call in 20 minutes and these aren't going in and I still
Traz, bless him, is the only person I know that like got his contacts like a month in advance and then like once every couple of days would try putting them in, and I was like, oh, you are such a smart man.
Oh my goodness.
You kind of have to build tolerance, like your eyes get used to it, right?
Yeah.
If I go for a few months and don't wear contacts, then put them in and my eyes are like,
it's not great. It's not great after a while. When you take a break, it's like,
especially if you're tired, like if you haven't got enough sleep, that's just the worst. Oh my god.
Forcing your eye open, it's just like,
oh, and just because my eyes get so dry when I'm sleep deprived, I'm just like,
Yeah. I would suggest going to an optometrist if you haven't put in contacts before for the first time, because they will not let you like leave with contacts if you can't get them in and then get them out. I had to put them in, get them out, and then put them in again, and then I left with the contacts. I don't know. I guess they thought I could take them out again. Anyway, I did. I didn't have to go to emergency or anything, but yeah, so they give you like good tips for how to put them in properly. Also, if your nails are too long, it could be really a bad time. So
yeah.
Also,
we'll say,
Oh, I was just gonna say one more tip is if you are doing them for a stream and you're kind of maybe a little bit less confident about it, what I like to do is I like to put them in maybe an hour beforehand or something like that if I find I can go that long wearing them to begin with, just to like put them in, let my eyes settle, maybe go eat something before stream. I mean, that's probably a good idea. Kind of maybe make a coffee or something and then do the rest of my makeup so that I'm not crying off my makeup as I'm doing it.
Also, just if you are doing contacts for stream, do you have a green screen, and what color are the contacts
Oh
gonna
no!
be? Because you
Yep,
don't want
I've
to
made that
accidentally
mistake.
green screen out your
That's
eyes.
true.
I did that.
Because-
Did that.
I'm fairly
Been
certain
there.
I've done that. I'm not sure if like, yeah, because I have green eye. I have green eyes for my mage character, and I'm pretty sure I just put them in anyway. And I'm just like, you know what? Who's looking that closely at my eyes on the screen?
That's
I
a
don't
very
actually know.
Yeah.
big ones.
Most I've
big
been looking
doll
at is
ring.
maybe getting like very light colored contacts because like my eyes are fairly light blue, but you can't actually see it on stream.
Yeah.
Not really.
Because like I find like if you're doing something like picking ones that have like very vibrant color, like I'm doing it for a reason. Like my natural eye color I can get away with a lot of stuff just because of how they are with how they pick up the light. But like for like my plasmoid, I wanted to make it not look human, so I went with the full with the mesh. But there's other characters like my technocracy character who has light blue eyes, and I'm like, I don't have light blue eyes. We're gonna change that because it changes the look quite significantly, I think.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I really like using them now that I've gotten into it.
Mhm.
I think it's really fun
Mhm.
to do it. And I think it just adds another set because you can have your art like have different eyes. But then it's like it's fun when you get to actually like feels like the full costume comes together. Like I actually wanted a break of not putting contacts in my eyes for Arco, so I actually made my character have nice light blue eyes because I'm like, you know what? Let's take a break from the weird eyes for now, and let's go back to let's have my normal eye color, so I don't have to just like constantly.
I
blinky.
eventually partway through Witchlight had to abandon my contacts because like the wig with the prosthetic with the contacts just became too much, which was kind of convenient because he lost his eye color. So
Yeah.
against all the white, my
There you
eyes
go.
just kind of looked dark. So it worked out. I just took that as an excuse.
I think that's a really good a suggestion if you are wanting to do something different for your costume that you're used to. Do things one at a time so you get used to it, and not do a lion wig, prosthetics, body paint, and contacts at the same time because that's just
Are you
that's just
calling
a
Krista
lot.
out here?
I'm calling Krista out just a little bit.
As
Love you,
you
Krista.
should.
So much.
Absolutely.
I remember when you were
did-
talking to me about that, and you were like, "I'm gonna make like different slush cast latex pieces for
did,
each
yep.
day, and I've got a whole oven set up." And I was like, "You
Oh my
crazy!"
God.
I refuse to wear different colored wigs for stream because I'm like, it's too much prep, and I'll get lazy.
You know,
my
and
characters have
actually,
red hair.
I will stand by this. When I started, I said I'm gonna do this crazy ass character because it will be easier than doing actual makeup. And I stand by it was. The fact that the piece was pre-painted and I reused it again and again and again. So the fact that it was pre-done, my wig just goes thunk. I don't have to think about it. I stick the thing to my face and I went with white and like those of you
That
that
sound
were in
effect
Witchlight,
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
usually yes. I sat down at beginning of our call with nothing on. At 6:30, we sit down to our call and I'm getting my stuff together and I went thunk, and I was done. Like it was faster than me like doing a detailed like cat face drawing and something like that. So I do stand by it was faster and easier than anything else I could have done, but it was not the most comfortable to wear. Especially I had like a big jacket and I had armor originally that kept falling off, so I gave that up. I had gloves that I eventually took off. Yeah, do one piece at a time as you go. Don't be stupid like me. Learn from my mistakes.
I was just thinking, so I kind of want to just check in with other people here who have done body paint, because we brought it up for the makeup, but didn't go too much into it panel. But like, so I've got a Meron, like the Paradise color active, like water activated, but I've got like a metallic one, and I found that I would apply it, and then it would be blotchy. Like it would look mostly smooth until it dried, and then I'd be like, there's a problem here.
Yep.
And things like that. Just like
You
keeping
have
it from
to, like-
streaking and
The big trick with Meron is not putting too much water in, because then your paint is really, really thin. And it does not go on thickly. And I definitely found that problem with the green. Purple was a lot easier, more forgiving with a pale skin tone underneath, because it didn't really show up that much. Whereas green, like really strong green and pale skin, oh god, doing Netherdeep was a little stressful, because I kept trying to make sure, like, I was coming home from work, having to eat, get changed, get paint on, makeup on top of the paint,
which is a whole
and
other
then
adventure.
wig and outfit and all that as well. Like,
Yeah.
whew.
And then making sure that whatever you're wearing isn't something you mind getting potentially stained by body paint.
That too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I want to do more body paint stuff, and I'm probably going to have to do for one of the games is coming up, and I'm just like, oh crap. Oh crap. And then I'm like, wait, they're going to have this sort of detail. And I'm like, oh crap. Oh no. Oh no. No.
Oh no.
I'm
When I
terrified.
do water activated paints, just adding to the getting it like the right consistency. I don't know if you guys use like a little spray bottle, but I saw that recommended. You get like a little, like you'd have for like setting spray or something, and you just spritz the paint, and that's usually enough. And then you can just like add little bits, because I find if I do like drops or a little cup and like try and like pour it or some shit, I always am like, it's soaked. You know?
I always just put my bathroom tap to a very slow drip and would just dip the makeup brush under it really quick, and then use that to dip it into the paint, and would just scrape it off the edge if need be. Like, it got all over my hands.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's just
As
that's just how about keeping it from staining your skin? Because I found the blue in particular did not want to come off, even with
Green too.
Really?
like I have a barrier spray. Actually, I need to get more out of it. Because first off, seal your paint if you don't want it to get on everything. If you ever
Sorry,
go into a
paint.
convention, seal your paint. Flashbacks to cons in the mid 2010s.
I'm stuck. We have 1 minute. We have 1 minute before we have to start wrapping up. So
Yeah, but
guys
it's
know.
for. But like,
I
how do you keep it from
use-
staining?
So much primer. I moisturized heavily, primed heavily, all sorts of stuff. I could not get the green not to stain my face. You know, I took it off, dish soap.
Yeah, I was gonna say I use regular like Dove soap when I've done like different, like I've done red, green, blue, purple, and I just found soap and water, like just
I had
simple
no
soap
problem
and
with
water.
purple. Purple came off fine.
Yeah.
Green though, what it did was it stayed in the areas
Yeah,
around
it
my
was like-
nose, around my eyes, and around my mouth. Like
Yeah,
right
especially the
close,
blue,
and
like,
it
right
gave me this
underneath, I'm like,
greenish cast that made me look so sick.
Do you
I
do you
look
do
so
a lot
sleep
of
deprived.
do you do a lot of exfoliating?
I do.
No, not normally.
Yeah.
Like I wash my face gently
Yeah,
because
because those
I
are
have eczema.
areas that get buildup. Yeah, that. Oh,
So I have
that's also
eczema, so
so.
I cannot scrub my skin, but it's not rough. Like my skin is fine.
No,
And I do like carefully moisturize heavily beforehand. Like I don't have any rough patches. Like, and it was just anywhere you had peach fuzz or like a bit more delicate skin, it just stained the crap out of it for me.
Yeah, it was always
And
under
I
the
had to
eyes.
scrub
nose.
heavily.
Yeah.
Tell us this super soft. I don't know how well
All
it works
right.
for water-based stuff, but it melts.
Well, I
those.
jump in the shower.
I'm gonna before we start our outros, I'm gonna throw
Yeah.
one more thing in.
Okay.
If you are going to do any kind of makeup, if you have to put your costume, like if you have a tight neck costume, put it on first, and get a big button-up shirt or zip-up hoodie that you don't care about. Put that on over top. Do your makeup so you don't get it all over your costume.
Yeah.
Unzip it.
Yeah.
Take it off.
Yeah.
That
I do
makes
my
sense.
makeup
Not
I
in-
should
something
do
you have
that.
to pull over
in
your
a- in
head.
a button up.
Yeah, zip up or button up. I have a hoodie that's dedicated for my makeup, and it gets like it looks so,
You're so
bad
smart.
after a bit.
Other trick
Yeah.
is to get a piece of fabric that you just don't care about that's very, very light,
Poncho.
put it over you, and then pull whatever it is over top. So you're not
Yep,
wiping
yep.
the makeup off onto a shirt.
Yeah.
Me with my
Stuff
cosplay,
like that,
just
because-
like pulling the neckline forward very carefully.
Oh, God.
I get
Every
fallout
time.
like crazy when
Alright.
I'm doing my makeup, so I just don't want it all over a dark shirt or something.
Yeah.
We need our bibs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
market
So we'll
that?
put the rest of the comments in the Discord and the rest of the questions. Sorry, we couldn't get to everything and we didn't get to any talking points. But I hope we answered your questions and I hope we got to a lot of things that you guys were very interested in. But that is our time for now. So let's go around and say who we were, where you can find us. Bryn, let's go with you. I'm gonna go
Oh.
around.
I'm currently at Cody's house. The address.
Oh, I didn't say where are you. I said who are you? Who are you?
Who am I?
Who are you
That's an
really?
even harder question.
Yeah.
No, I'm Bryn. You can find me at Frecklebites. Here, I'll post a link to my Instagram because it has most of my more like cosplay makeup-y stuff, which I think is relevant.
Perfect.
Yeah, or Twitch or whatever. I'll post a link. Okay, next person. Krista, go.
Krista, you.
Hi, I'm Krista. You can find me here, or sometimes at Cody's house. Hi, Tabby. I love you.
Why not at Cody's house
Everyone
right
just
now?
shows up there.
So party at
Perfect.
Cody's house at like when?
That's what I'm hearing,
Exactly.
right? After party.
Party. Yeah.
Amy, let's go with you.
Hi, that is me. I've been Paradoxical Ghoul. I am here all the time and I live on Discord. And speaking of the Discord, I just want to say we have a costuming and makeup channel specifically on our
Mhm.
Discord. You can ask questions, post pictures of like the stuff you've been working on. We love to see it and we love to comment and be like, "Oh, look at these cool costumes," and share ideas. So if you want to ask more stuff, we have a place for it. I live there. Most of us pop in to check out what people are saying too. So
Absolutely. All right, up to Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin, second gen gamer in the chat. You can usually find me here on Dork Tales. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be using that costuming panel because I have an insane idea for a costume that I want to come up do that includes a character that's
go.
maybe has a prosthetic robot arm. So I'm gonna have fun trying to
let's
build
go.
that.
Nice.
So yeah, it's been fun and I definitely want to do I want to so definitely get good ideas from that. So I'll be in that part of the Discord for sure.
Amazing. All right, over to Christine.
All right, I'm Christine. I'm Lady Liliana in the chat. I also have my own Twitch channel for Lady Liliana, and most of my social medias are under that as well. But yeah, totally. If you are interested in asking any questions about how any of the stuff I've done on stream has worked out, feel free to throw it in costuming makeup and at me, please, because I am a bit of an introvert and I tend to go in phases of ignoring social media. So at me so I know you're asking me a question. Or you can throw it in my channel on there, which is Lady Liliana's Lovely Lair. So feel free to throw questions in there and whatnot, and I'm happy to chat about how I've done stuff for various costumes or give advice, etc. But you do have to ask me because I generally just won't volunteer.
Yeah, great point. If you have anything specific for us, I know a lot of us do have our own little rooms on the Discord. Like I have Petite Medic's Totally Safe Lab, which I haven't posted in a lot, but I was going to maybe stream and post in there, which means that my name is Petite Medic and I use she, her pronouns. And thank you so much for joining us. We also do have a lot of experience collectively here with props. So sorry we didn't actually get to that one, but we can talk about it in the Discord. We love you. Thank you so much.
We need this. We need like a 3-hour panel for this.
We do.
Oh.
I think we need to split it a little bit. Like
Yeah.
instead of just
Remind me
full
next
costuming,
year.
we're like this. I will. Yeah.
Like seriously, I've got
We'll
a
do that.
document of panels to run next year, so like you can
I'll
really
pop it in
just
the
It's
like
gonna be a
let me
week
know.
chat.
long at this point. We're gonna need multiple channels.
Oh gosh.
All right, so folks, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Dork Tales Expo. This was Costuming and Character. Come back in about 15 minutes for Love, Sex, and Consent in role-playing games. Quick reminder, if you have not done so, check your couch cushions because there might be some money in there you can donate. I've been watching this total stay the same all morning. I'd love to see it evolve into its next form, a higher amount that can be spent on costuming, art, and other supplies for Dork Tales. Thank you so much, panelists, for being here, and show them some love on their way out. Goodbye, everybody. Good job. You did it. Yay! All right. We're out. Now it's time to mute the mics. Goodbye,
Amazing.
everyone.